Okay, good morning. I know it's early in the morning after a heavy night of partying, so I'm going to keep it light and try to stay you awake. So I'm CALLEWAERT, I work as a product evangelist at Unity. I think I have the greatest job in the world. I meet every day with the community and I play games. If it becomes too technical, I bring in contact with our tech team, and you want to talk about licenses, to the sales team. And for the rest, play games with me. That's the most fun thing. So today I'm here to talk about how to create multi-platform games with Unity, how easy it is. And personally, I'm very passionate about that because I play games myself. When I'm on the airplane, I play on my iPad. And when I'm home or in somewhere else in the world, I'm playing on my iPhone. And I want to keep continuing playing my game. I don't want to start the game all over. Especially when I come home, my daughter wants my iPhone because my scores are higher than hers. She wants to start from there. So if it would sync automatically, it makes it easy. We don't fight. But from Unity, viewpoint, we're very passionate about our community. Okay? We really want to make it easy for you. Right? So you can create your games what you want, but make it easy. Okay? Before we started here, I had a chance to talk to some people. And we're using Unity. It's great to hear. Some of them are totally new. But I want to just a little bit know you better. So who from you is currently using Unity in production? Okay, I hope everybody should raise their hand. Who from you is totally new to Unity? Okay, that's a lot of people. And who from you create already multi-platform games with Unity? Only a few people. So during this presentation, I will quickly talk about what is Unity, who we are as a company, very quickly. I'm going to highlight some examples of games that used true multi-platform. What I mean with that is that if you made a game for your Android, your iPhone, for the web, that they sync the data. So if I play one level and I finished it, then I pick my iPad and I continue from there. To quickly talk about why going through multi-platform. I don't like to talk about numbers, but then really what I really like is the power of Unity. Right? Like how do the people overcome technical challenges with Unity? Okay? And talk a bit about Union so we can reach more even platforms. Okay? And how accessible it is to get started with Unity. Really quickly, who are we? We are a company that was founded in 2004 in Copenhagen. 3 guys got together, they made a game. The game was not successful. But the technology was very successful. The team very fast. So you can see in 2010, and this is last year, we have already offices around the world: Korea, Japan, China, San Francisco, Denmark, Sweden, London, and it keeps on going. Singapore, Canada. So I'm somewhere in that picture, if you can see me. Okay. So, if you never heard of Unity, what is Unity? I don't like to read from a PowerPoint. You can read faster than me. But it's a piece of software where you can drag and drop art content, 3D art content, 2D art content, audio files, 3D models. And then you create a script in the interactivity into Unity. You can script it. There's some plugins available from our community to do visual programming. And then you can export it to different platforms. You can run the software on a Mac and a PC without any problems, share the project. You can group in team on one project. But what the real power is that you make it only one time. And then you can export it to all different platforms. You can export to the iOS, Android, standalone, PC, Mac, Flash, the web, Wii, Xbox, PlayStation 3. So, and the list goes on. And we're always looking for more platforms. And we always think about our community. Okay. Another philosophies that we have is why reinvent the wheel? If there's already an industry standard in there, I bring it into Unity, make it easy for you. Like such as Beast, Fmod. A lot of people make their art content in Maya or 3ds Max. It's just a drag and drop to bring it in. There's no converting. One of the other powerful tools is that you don't have to export to the different platforms to play the game. You can play the game directly into the editor. I tend to focus more on playing than working, but that's just me. Okay. What's our vision? What do we believe in Unity? What we will never change is that it's about the democratization of multi-platform game development, so that everybody can create easily rich interactive content. And doesn't always have to be a game. It can be visualization. It can be a nice example is one of my friends made a game for people who lost a limb, how they can test different extensions. So what about those democratization we talked about? Okay. Right now we have more than 1 million users using Unity and creating games, from individuals to large companies. Okay. The result is that we have a very interactive community. There's more than, our forums are always very interesting, everybody's talking, but sharing scripts. And my first game I made was a Cyanide game. I did not do the scripting, I asked on the forum, and community members made it for me. Okay. After a year, I bought a car with the profit of my app, and my wife called me, where does the car come from? From my apps that you complain about. And then her question was, can you make more apps? So let's look at some success stories. And I'm going to talk about success stories about true multi-platform. I have other presentations where I talk about really the top games that were made with Unity, but this time it's just about multi-platform. This is not my son. Okay, my daughter is called Maya, and my next kid will be called Unity. Yeah, not Max. But my wife doesn't agree. I don't know why. So one of those examples is Buddy Rush. Who from you has played this game? You don't have to work always, you can play games too. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I can attest that. This game actually won the Unity Awards last year of True Multi-Platform Game. It's an RPG game. It's fully done in 3D with some 2D elements, but it runs on Facebook, iOS, and Android. And so if you play it on Facebook, you pick up your game on your iPad, and you can nicely continue. It also nicely syncs. It has like 18 characters, really customizable. On time I play it. The one I like to play is a triple town. So what you do is, if you pick 3 grasses, it's a puzzle game. You get a tree, 3 trees make a cottage. A cottage get going, you get a whole town there. Works on iOS, Android, Facebook. And also it's now in beta for Google+. But last year it actually won the Facebook game by got several awards. Also at Edge Magazine and Kamasutra, they provided the awards. Shadow Era, another example of a true multi-platform. It's a collectible game. So what I'm showing here is all different games, different styles. A lot of people think it's called Unity 3D. Okay, and there's a lot of 2D games made with Unity. Actually, the vast majority, I would say. Another example is Nexon. Nexon is one of the leaders in Korea and worldwide. It's a really beautiful game, Epic of the Three Kingdoms. Runs on PC, Mac, iOS, Android, and all syncs the game, all these stats. But my true passion is always indie development. Who from you has played Zombieville? Okay, great. We deal with gamers here, it's good. I love it. It's made by 2 guys. They made in the first year more than $1.3 million on the game, and they're still making tons of money on it. But it also is nicely done. Syncs on the iOS between the iPad and the iPhone and the multiple devices. Okay. Another example, I'm going to rush to the examples here, but there's a Crazy Ferris from American McGee, who made Alice in Wonderland the game. This is actually really impressive because it's multiplayer, multi-platform, and it all syncs. So one of my friends could be playing on Facebook against me while I'm playing on my Android device. Okay. American McGee really went a step further and added a lot of stuff on it. So you have like a store in it where you can buy different elements, but then you can create your own content and then auction that off. And then use those credits in other games that are on his platform. Okay. Cheesecraft, also an example. It's an RTS game. Another example, Rope Rescue. A Rope Rescue is made by one guy. I had the luck to meet him. It's a really blend of 3D and 2D. It's a puzzle game. Put on iOS, Android, but it's actually also available on the Playbook. So you see that he really cross multi-platform. Another example is a Cube Man, and it's one guy who made it. It's available on the App Store, the Mac App Store, and Steam. It syncs for the everything with the iOS. And his big challenge was, of course, the different inputs. And an RTS game in this style, 3D, how are you going to deal with it on an iPad, and how are you going to deal with it on the web or on Steam. Totally different inputs. So later on, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Another example, Inferno. Another example, Light in the Dark in Russia. Multiplayer, and they play at the same time on different devices. Okay. Why would you make a multi-platform? I think most of you attended the lecture also, Proof is in the Pudding. There you could see some more numbers that it's really beneficial to make it, but we all know it's about monetization, hardware and software. A lot of people forget about the hardware, but if a game can continue if you buy a new device, you're likely to buy a faster new device. My wife is still holding on her iPad 1 because her high scores are on that one. Okay. It doesn't sync with her iPad 3 she has. Okay. Not everybody is using the same device. Some of my friends are using Android. I use my iPhone, but now we can play together. That's why I bought the game. As I said, I don't like to talk about numbers, but if there's more devices sold than the kids are born, and there's more smartphones sold than there's toothbrushes sold in the world, then we can only conclude that everybody has multiple devices. Okay. What's the future about through multi-platform? I don't foresee the future, but what's what I feel and think. I don't have a crystal ball. But I think there will be a better relationship between console game and mobile gaming. I don't say that you're going to play your console game on your mobile device, because everybody likes to play sometimes their games on a big screen. Okay, when I'm home, I like to play together with my daughter on the big screen. But I think mini games will be a solution for that, where you're going to play your console game, and while you're on the go, you will be making levels or play a mini game, and then communicate with that console game. So you're going to really take advantages of your different platforms, okay, and the different inputs you have. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the power of Unity, more from a technical side, and then also talk about like the power from Unity for through multi-platform. Right? With Unity, first of all, I want to announce that we just announced that we're going to export also to Linux. It's again another platform that's there. The cool thing is just click and it's done. Right? So if you have a game made for your PC or Flash, click, you export to Linux.2. There's no work involved. Another thing we announcement did is the Flash exporter. Click, you have your game made already one time, you just click and it becomes a Flash game. Okay. Really more from a technical view side is that, okay, you make a game and you're going to make it for like an iPad 3, but you want it to run on a lower end Android device, or a web game, you really want to have control over your quality settings. And that's one of the really strengths of Unity. You can even set the quality settings per scene, but per platform. So I could say the same game, when I make it in my Unity, and I say, give me nice shadows when I put it on my iPad 3, but give me, if I'm going to use a lower-end device, remove the shadows, or only shadows close by. So I can do it also for textures. My texture settings, my compression settings per device, also for audio. And when you talk about 3D models, of course, most of you understand level of detail. When my character is close or objects are close, I have higher res. And when I go further away, I get lower res. Unity implemented that, but when we implement something, we really think about the multi-platform. So that if you say, okay, I'm going to put it for my iOS device, I get maybe 3 levels of details or 2 levels of details. But when I do it for my console game, give me 5 LODs. And when you build, it automatically will offload the LODs that is said not to use. Okay. Another thing that we built in was light probes. It stores the light information in the spheres you place in the scene and the color, and then I can give that information to dynamic objects. So you bake the light information of dynamic objects. Okay? This is really powerful if you go for mobile, okay? Because not all mobile devices are really optimized for real-time shadows. So in that way, you could have very nice quality shadows on a console, but have very nice lighting on a mobile device. Hey, this is Shadow Gun. Who from you has already played Shadow Gun? Okay, really cool. If you don't want to play it. I love it. I mainly play it on my iOS, but I have also a Samsung Galaxy, so I play it on that. Another example is from thinking about true multi-platform is that making buttons. There's so many different screen resolutions, and if you have done development for the Android, you know what I'm talking about. The cool thing is that you can put everything in percentages in Unity, so that when your screen resolution changes, your buttons are nicely adjusted. You have also an input manager, okay, that you can say which inputs will be used, and you can customize them. And then in scripting, you can say here per device, like here in this case, if I'm using my iPhone or my Android, use those settings. Okay. I will be using, like in this case here, I can nicely see this is on my PC, this is on my iOS, automatically place my buttons there. So if you change your build settings, it automatically changes your input settings or your materials or your light settings. Another thing that I really like is the cache server. If you change from different platforms, all your texture settings has to be re-imported. So with 3.5, we provide a cache server that it stores all the settings per platform in a cache, but this can be placed on a server. So if you work in a team, you easily can say, look, I did a change to iOS. When another member is switching to iOS, it switched from the cache. He doesn't have to do the conversion. Some of you maybe have heard of Mechanim, a new retargeting tool that we brought in Unity. Why do I bring that up in multi-platform? Well, I will come to that very soon. So you bring any character, you drag and drop animation files in it from our library or from another character, automatically retargets. You have state machines and blend machines, so your character can perform easily from walking to running or standing still without having any feed sliding. Okay? The cool thing is that with this, it's super low on the GPU. A CPU, it runs totally on a mobile device too. So it's easy to create really high-end character controls with multiple characters. It supports nav mesh. I did a test and I had more than 200 characters running all retargeting animations on a mobile device. Of course, you need to profile your game, and you can. We have a profiler, but also the profiler works multi-platform. You can actually profile on the device itself. Okay. Now talking about the true multi-platform, of course you can store your values by get value, set value, and then you can use sockets to push the data to a server or cloud. An example was CubeMan, one guy who made the game. He did the scripting and put it together, the game. This is really some of the power of our community. We have so many users, they write the plugins for you. Right? A nice example is Prime 31. They made it so you can sync easily to the cloud for iOS. For $70, I would not even start to think the program. Okay. Game Circle, I think everybody is aware now. It's been announced here. The guys from Prime 31 wrote already a plugin for it, so that when you make a game for the Kindle, you lose your Kindle, you get a new Kindle, the data syncs. I think the plugin will be, what I heard, is maybe even for free. My last thing I want to bring up is if you really want to go push more multi-platform, we have a division in Unity called Union. And what they do, they look at your game, it's a great game, well, they're going to bring it maybe to the Roku, they bring it to the LG TV, to the Playbook, so you can reach more players. Okay, Unity takes care of all the conversions, you don't have to think about it, so it's an easy service. And nice examples are Rope Rescue, one guy who made a game, we placed it on the Roku, the Playbook, Shadowgun 2, and if you have heard of the story Snuggle Truck, check that out. It was originally called Smuggle Truck, but they were not allowed from iOS, from Apple. I just want to end up to say, okay, I think you're all very beautiful people and also very smart. I think you see that there's a huge demand for multi-platform, through multi-platform. There's a lot of benefits to go for that. And Unity provides you really the power to do this. It's one ring to rule them all, but it's easy, powerful, and we really listen to our community, and our community provides us a lot of plugins, just as Prime 31. Okay. I encourage you to ask your questions. If you go over time, let's go in the back so we don't disturb the next speaker. Here's my contact information. Feel free to contact me. And here's also my link to my presentation. So you can simply download all my PowerPoints from Unity. I do a movie file about like a general presentation about Unity. My scripts are there, art assets are there. Feel free to use them. Another benefit of attending this presentation is that every 3 months I look at our community and I give away a license to somebody who made a game with Unity. So if you made a game with Unity, let me know, Twitter me, Facebook me, send me the link, and if I liked it, after 3 months, I pick one game and I send you a license, a full pro license, of course. Okay, I think the time is up, and thank you so much, and if you have questions, feel free to come up.